done so far is vital, but it's not enough to bring a single prospect to your business. To do that, you will need a killer ad, and that's where Module 5 comes in. Now, there's more to creating killer ads than just clever copywriting. Sure, that's a part of it, and you will learn our simple, structured approach to ensure that your ads are not only killer, but that they stand out from the competition like a blinking neon sign on a deserted highway. But you'll also learn the technical must-dos to ensure that you please the Google machine and destroy your competitors at the same time. And by the end of this module, you'll be able to consistently create ads that win. Welcome to Module 5 and our first lesson about ads and ad copy. Module 5 is one of my favourite modules because we get to play around and write some killer ad copy that's really going to resonate with our prospective visitors to our website. It's a crucial element of our campaign that we need to get this right. If we nail this, if we do a really good job of writing ads that meet the expectations of prospective visitors, we will get more of them clicking our ads, and we'll get more of them coming through to our website, and we'll get more converting. It's essential that we get this right. But it's also great fun because we get to play around, get creative, come up with some ideas, and really think and understand like a prospect at a deep level. So, without further ado, a quick refresh. We've already built a laser-targeted AdWords account structure. We've wiped out 99% of the problems that other, less experienced advertisers are going to make. So we've already built a competitive advantage into our campaigns. Now, let's layer that up with some awesome ad copy and really move this into high gear. So on the screen here, I've shown you the various elements of an ad, just so we know what's involved. So in the red highlights, the headline of an ad. We can see here, I've shown you a full screen so we can see the left-hand area, 3 ads shown 2/3 width of the page. Right-hand side usually has another 8 ads shown closely vertically spaced, slightly smaller. So, top left, Tampa Cosmetic Dentist, highlighted in red is the headline, as is Brandon Cosmetic Dentist. Headline, big, important part of our ad. Next on the list, we have what we call Description 1. Here we can see it on the left underneath the headline. We can also see it here wrapped alongside the headline. And here we're seeing it underneath again. So you can see it's the same ad element used in 3 different layouts. We also see description line 2, which here is next to description line 1. Underneath here is actually cosmetic dentistry since 1989. It's underneath the headline and the URL. And here it's under description 1 again. So you see, same element laid out in different ways. Every ad has a display URL. The vast majority of the time you'll see it directly under the headline. And then we have what we call extensions. Extensions are the extra elements Google provides us to put into our ads if we wish to use them and if Google chooses to display them. You can see them here. There's a phone number, an address, and there are several other type of extensions that we don't see on the screen here today. So let's have a look at each element in detail so we really understand it. So a headline. You've got 25 characters maximum to use, and it's the most important of the ad. It's the thing that everybody sees first. It's in a big blue 18 pixel font, so you need your most compelling message as closely related to the keyword as possible. If you use the keyword or partial use of the keyword in that headline, the bit that matches will be shown in bold, which again makes it even more engaging. Next, we've got descriptions lines 1 and 2. Now, these are slightly longer. These are 35 characters each. Usually displayed in grey and small Arial, although we saw a moment ago a description line 1 in blue bold alongside the headline. We use this for supporting messages and a clear call to action. In a description line 2, we want to make sure that we're telling that prospect what to do next, how to take the next step to engage with us. We also have a display URL. You might be surprised at the importance of a display URL. Tweaks to this can make a big difference in your ad performance. And people tend to think about display URL as an afterthought. It's an add-on. We'll get really creative. We'll do some clever copy.
and then eventually we'll just type something in for display URL. Look where it is. It's directly under the headline. It's shown in a different color to everything else on that page. It stands out. So don't underestimate the power of the display URL in your ads. It's an important part to test. It's green, it's 14 pixels, and it does not need to be a real URL. But we have the same 35 character limit that we need to work with. Important point, it doesn't need to be real. You can put a marketing message in there. You can put an offer in there or a call to action in there. Doesn't matter. Then there's what's called the final URL. This is where your ads are actually going to take the visitor to. So when someone clicks it, it's the page on your website where visitors are going to be taken. As a user of AdWords, you cannot see it. So a visitor won't know that where they're going to go until they have clicked. It isn't shown in the ad. Now, while we're talking about ad structure, a couple of things about policies. Google will not let you just put anything in an ad. So, for example, their word is gibberish. You are not allowed to use gibberish. You're not allowed to write nonsense. It has to be real words in the language that you're advertising in. It has to be relevant to the landing page. And that sounds like a slightly vague definition, and it is, because Google determine at their own discretion, and usually with algorithms, whether it is relevant or not. So think about the ad copy, think about the words that are on the page. Do these two things represent the same thing? You know, if your ad's talking about cosmetic dentistry and your landing page is talking about home remodeling, clearly irrelevant, your ad's going to get into trouble. You're not allowed to do vague ads. Now, you can use intrigue, you can use curiosity in your ad, but you can't make the ad so vague that a prospective person clicking the ad would have no idea what it meant. You're also not allowed to use misspellings, though some get through. It's an automated system at Google. I've seen ads with misspellings in. It's against Google policies, but they get through from time to time. One thing you are definitely not allowed to do is put a phone number in an ad. There is a specific extension for using for phone numbers, which is the only place and you can use a phone number in an ad. If you try and put a phone number directly in your ad copy, it will get immediately disapproved. There's also rules around punctuation, and these are Google's rules. You may or may not agree with them, but they are what they are. You're only allowed one exclamation mark in the whole ad, and you're not allowed to put it in the headline. I'm not sure why they think that's important. I think they're trying to avoid very shouty, very attention-grabbing ads where they've just got, rows of exclamation marks. And for the same reason, you're not allowed to use repeated punctuation. You're also not allowed to misuse symbols. So in the example here, a 5-star hotel, the star being the symbol, is okay. Using at home, where at is replacing the word at, the at symbol is replacing the word at, that's not okay. You're not allowed to do that. Again, you may find when you create an ad, some will get through, some won't. Don't try and get clever. Don't try and game it. Use proper language. You won't have a problem. Trademarks, something that we could probably do an entire session on trademarks by themselves. However, you are not technically allowed to advertise using trademarks in your ad copy. You can bid on trademark keywords, but technically you're not allowed to use them in your ad copy. However, they're not automatically disapproved, but trademark owners can complain. And what you'll find is that some trademark owners have complained so many times that the moment you create an ad with a trademark term, it gets immediately disapproved. On the other hand, if it's something less common, you can run an ad for days, weeks and months without a problem. So it depends on, the veracity of the market. If you try and use the word Apple in your ads or iPhone in your ads, it won't even last 10 seconds in AdWords. It will just get immediately disapproved. So be careful with trademarks. There is an exception here called a reseller exception, which allows you to, if you want to advertise Apple iPhones, you can go to Apple and say, "Dear Mr. Apple, I would like to use your trademarks in my ads. Is that okay?" And this form goes to Google, and then Google theoretically pass it on to the trademark owner and they can approve or not. I have never, ever seen one go through successfully. And I've tried on several times. Not on one occasion has it worked. So my rule is generally don't bother. There are some cease and desist procedures as well. If you use a trademark and you don't have permission, or it's a competitor, even if you didn't mean to use a trademark term, expect to get a cease and desist letter from a lawyer. Some of them can be very polite, saying please don't do that again, please take down your ad. Others will say we are coming to you for damages now. We don't care if you take that ad down. So best practice, don't use trademarks. At best case, you're going to get away for a while. Worst case, you're going to get a very nasty legal letter and cause all sorts of problems. So unless it's your trademark and you own it, don't go there with Google. So that's it for this session. That's everything there is to know about the structure of an ad. So that's the foundation. We're now going to go on to the actual detail of building some cool ads that are going to work really well. Bye for now.